Hey guys, how's it going? Originally, I had planned to do an some other type of intro to this sort of like production type video. I'm gonna do a little behind the scenes. But instead of that, um, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go over the Pro Tool session and just do a voiceover of it, because if I don't want to do the hassle of trying to figure out how to do playback in OBS and Pro Tools and all that. So please enjoy this little commentary of the Pro Tool session of my latest cover song of Golden by Hendrix. Alright, welcome to the production or behind the scenes of what I did for Golden by Hendrix. What I did for the cover song. So I'm gonna be going, or I should try to be going, track by track and seeing what I could explain to y'all in this video. So Pro Tools. What is Pro Tools? Pro Tools is a music editing software that I use and many artists use around the world to help them record their instruments and stuff. And I use, there's many different payment plans, different categories to Pro Tools. I have the basic intro version because that's all I need basically. And you could add different tracks to this. So you can see in this huge left column here, each little bar here is one single mono track that is just one microphone and all that. So let me take you through this list of what I have. So on the very top, you see it's called Click 1. What's that, you ask? It's just a metronome. It's just what I use at the beginning of a song to help me. What I use for that is for in this song, I use that to help me count in 8 beats, so that I can just so whenever I started to record on OBS, I can just hit record on Pro Tools so that I have enough time to go to my drum kit, and then I'll show it again so that y'all know there is this space in between little space in the song here that is basically just I did not get to I couldn't do timing wise normally, so I was like, okay, maybe just do may add a metronome there so that I know to play like the downbeats on. Basically, that's what I did to help me figure out what to do. So then that is the click track, and then below that is Golden. That is the audio file that is the song that I'm listening to. That is Golden. That is Golden by Hendrix. I basically just to get the audio file, I just recorded it. I recorded it in Audacity. I hit export, titled it, put it on my computer so that I could just drag it into Pro Tools. And then you can see below that is just audio 1. That is just my bass guitar track. And then for that, I just have my amp. But then in the headphone jack part, I plugged in a cable, and that cable I put into my audio interface so that I could just record it from there instead of just miking my amp up, making sure the mic is a good distance away, so I don't have to do any of that. So I just plug that cable in, plug it into the audio interface, then boom, we're done. Plain and simple. Add effects from Pro Tools or my own pedal chain if needed. So that is a huge plus. So then, if you could see here, if you see this little yellow part of this little yellow section of the session, that is for my drums. What I basically did is just I clicked new track on Pro Tools, then I went to track presets, and I think the one I clicked was mixing. I think that's the one I did for this one, for my drums. This is basically the track I did. These are the tracks I did for my drums. You might be wondering, oh well, I see you have four different bars for 4 different tracks for the drums. Why do you need 4 different tracks? That's a good question. So basically, for my drums, the first two tracks, those are my overheads. That is basically just to capture the room and to capture the room audio. And then the 2 bottom ones are for my kick and snare. Kick and snare? What do you mean by kick and snare? Well, one mic is below the snare drum. And is helping record the bottom head of the snare drum, while the overheads while the overhead mics are making sure to get the top head of the snare. That's for the snare track. For the kick track, I have a microphone in my bass drum. Well, now why are you saying bass drum? Because kick and bass drum are the same title, just different ways people say it different way. A bass drum and a kick drum are basically the same thing. So I might flip-flop around, just so y'all know. Basically, the kick drum, I have a mic inside the kick drum. And then inside my kick drum, I have a blanket so that it's not as loud as I want it to be, so that it can muffle the sound a little bit. And then, I don't know if these are the same effects I have on the video here, but I know for the bass drum it isn't. So I'm gonna go track by track on these, for the drums at least. Then I'll do the bass in a bit. So, for the track that's labeled FBGVS, it's just it's just EQs and a compressor. That's all that's on there. And for the drum overhead that's panned all the way to the left, I have an EQ, I have a guitar rig, I have an expander, a channel strip, and a compressor, or limiter. And then that's what I kind of have the same on the second overhead too, where it's just EQ, channel strip, expander, and also another EQ. The snare is the same with another channel strip, the EQs, but on the snare I have a BF76. That helps me control the input, the output, the tactic release, and all that jazz, you know. And then for the bass drum, currently, not in this video I think, but because I changed it a couple times, I have an EQ, a maximum, and an expander gate. That's what I have on the bass drum right now. And then for my bass guitar track, I have a BS76, like mentioned before. And then I have a maximum, a PSA1, which is a Sans amp. And then I also have an EQ on that too. That's what I have mainly on this version of this current version I have during this editing process. And then for the drums, those took so long to record, because I'm a bit perfectionist when it comes to drums, because I always know when I mishit the hi-hat, or whenever I just mishit the drums, or the snare even, or the kick even. I'm like, oh, I didn't play the kick pattern right, or oh no, I didn't play the 4-tom or the snare pattern right. I need to make sure I have it right, you know what I mean? So that is usually what goes in my head whenever I'm recording this. Like even before I even record or anything, I'll usually record the drums so that I know like what distance the mics have to be and all that jazz. But I also record it so that I know how what to do whenever I do these covers, because this is my first time like releasing a cover out into the world, like this level of production. So that's what I usually do for drums, and then for bass it's the same thing. Just I have this certain idea in mind. I want to see if I can communicate that to this bass track. And that's what I do. That's what I do mainly for the bass. And then originally I wanted to do some vocals and guitar. I wanted to do a guitar track on this cover, but then I was like, I should not do it because I wasn't getting the output right. I wasn't getting all the effects I have, and all that. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do guitar. So to add on to like the drums, I know that y'all are probably wondering, how did you record the drums? How did you record the drums? Like yeah, you have an audio interface, but what type of audio interface do you have? So right now, I have a pet ringer, which is this model is a 4-channel version of it, so I can have the 2 overheads and then the pick and the snare. That's what I have. That's what I'm using now. Previously, I was using a Foresight, a Scarlett. But that one only had 2. So I was like, originally that was just a overhead and a bass and a kick mic. But now, since I have this 4-channel, I could just do the 2 overhead mics and then the kick and snare mic, which is a lot easier to do now and a lot easier to manage, So that's why I was interested in it, so that I could be like, so that I could control this, control each channel, because originally with just the 2 mic plugin, I was like, it's very hard to like control each thing, because I'm like, I would want less kick but more snare, or less snare and more kick, and it was just so complicated to do, really, with that old Scarlett. So that's why I chose this. That's why I now have this newer model here, ready to be basically ready to be used. So now I'm using it even now, recording this video. This is my main mic I have plugged into here, and it's just amazing. It's really amazing. I couldn't be more thankful for my music career and why I do this. Really, I couldn't be more thankful. So I want to thank everyone who subscribed to this channel, plus whoever has been following me on my socials. Thank you for encouraging me to do all this. So that is a huge plus. And then if I didn't become a musician, I wouldn't be here right now, I think, of course. So I'm gonna thank the genes that made me become a musician, because I've been listening to music since like a super young age, and doing this as like a huge passion of mine is certainly amazing. I'm certainly thankful for this. I'm thankful for having a drum kit, for having all these amazing all this music gear and stuff. So it's really something that you look back on and don't take for granted as much as someone should. So I'm very thankful for all of this, and yeah, that's pretty great. And so my actual like gear that I used on this, like what bass and drum kit are using for my bass, is it's a Jackson bass it's tuned to standard tuning, and the reason why I sound so bright in the final mix is because I have new strings on it, so that's why I sound so bright, along with the effects I put on it. So yeah, that's why I sound so bright. And for my drums, I have an SJC kit with an SJC kit. It's a 21 Pilots signature kit. Like, it's a kit that I wanted ever since SJC like announced it. They're like, it's really cool. And then I have the official side snare, Josh Dunn's side snare for it. So that isn't used in the song, but that's another snare that I have for it. So I'm very thankful for that, and it's truly amazing. And then the sticks I'm using is just Zildjian sticks, really. And Zildjian is a good company that I like, along with SJC, and along with the Jackson bass that I have. And then I do have other guitars that I will save for whenever I do play guitar or add vocals to these cover songs whenever I do another cover song. If I used a guitar, I'll tell y'all. And that is great. That if you don't have any money to get these types of gear, make connections, make friends, because that's a great way to be like, hey, can you record this, and this for me? And depending on your friend, you might have to pay for it, you might not, but it's very good to make connections, especially in 2025. It's good to make connections and be like that, to where you're like, hey, like, you know, whenever we go to like conventions or whatever, you're like, hey, I know you or whatever. So yeah, it's great to have connections to help out with music, and that's what I did. I had a couple of connections in music. You know, I had a couple of musicians. I have a couple of musician friends, and they're really cool. I know that if I ever need another music person, I know I could go to them, pretty much. So that is why I love music so much, because you can make connections. You could ask your friends and whatever to be like, hey, can we do this and this and this together? And so yeah, that is pretty great. And now, since we're reaching almost the end of this video, I just want to say again, thank y'all for subscribing, thank y'all for liking my videos, thank y'all for enjoying the content I make on social media, and thank you for letting me have a nice little outlet so that I could do this. So now let's take it back to my RL self so that they could sign this video off. Y'all made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for making it to whichever video you watch first, because I'm gonna put this segment at both ends of both videos. So with that being said, thank you so much. If you watched the cover song, the production behind the scenes will be wherever on screen. If you watched the production, the cover song will be somewhere on screen. So again, thank you so much, and I hope you continue watching my videos, whether that be my concert videos in the past, my little whatever I did in the beginning of my channel. That being said, thank you so much. I hope you all have an amazing day here on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Bye bye. Thank you.